Hello. I decided to come back. I think I'm going to eat this airhead that I showed you guys in the other video. And we're going to talk Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Claire. I did film this before, and I think there might be already a review on this channel, because I've read this book before. Have you guys ever had it? Wow, these actually smell now. I don't remember them smelling before. Were these always so hard to chew? This is annoying. Holy cannoli. I think I just ate 11 grams of sugar. Okay, I'm not going to finish this. That's a lot of sugar for this little thing. No thanks. Before I dive into Clockwork Angel review, I just want to give you a little bit of a schedule. The update thing. I don't know. I'm kind of frazzled brain because I've been kind of stressed out trying to do student teaching, get my homework done, and all this stuff, because I'm technically still, working and doing the after school program, passing like the snacks out and stuff, which is very tiring. I've noticed that I come home and I'm just exhausted and I don't want to do anything. And that's not good because I do have homework to get done. So I force myself to get the homework done last minute practically for certain things. Because if it's all due on Wednesday, then I tend to just do it on the early out day while I have this opportunity to have that time. And I'm not passing snacks out. I'm not as tired. Yeah, that's been my biggest problem like this. Like I said in my pin mail video, it kind of sucked because this weekend I tried to take it easy and I felt like I just kind of set myself back. I did get some homework done. I did my discussion question, but I didn't plan anything for the week lesson-wise, which is not good. And you can tell I didn't plan today. I was flying on the seat of my pants, pretty much. I was the Lorax. Today I was holding my pants up, flying away. I don't know if you guys have ever read The Lorax. It's a good book if you haven't read it. It is a children's book, too. It's a picture book. But it's really good. Very, very important message. Okay. And then I think I need to really quickly do laundry because I have some stuff I need to clean. And yeah. That's I don't want to do a laundry phase, but I have to. I also need to, I think, toss out some stuff food-wise because there's some food that I think has expired that I need to chuck away. Because I'm getting tired of everyone getting mad at me. So I'm not going to buy as much food anymore because nobody eats the stuff I buy. It's like all on me for some reason. It's weird. I'm so you guys need to. Please, I can't eat all this for myself. I did finish off the strawberries though. I practically ate a whole carton of strawberries. So it took a couple of days. I didn't eat all at once, but there's raspberries in there too. I hope they get eaten. That's all I can say. Because I had to pay full price for them. They were supposed to be on sale, but I forgot my stupid Fry's card. And yeah, I had to pay full price for everything. It's annoying. Anyways, let's talk about Clockwork Angel. This is the first book in the the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Claire. It is a prequel to the Mortal Instruments series, which is City of Bones, City of Ash, City of Glass, and City of Fallen Angel and City of Heavenly Fire. I think I got them. So this book I read back, I want to say in college, when I went to get my bachelor's degree. I was reading pretty much anything YA. I still read YA. I think it's a great genre. It's fun. They got great books. I think I do read adult books. Just throwing this out there. I do read adult books. Just saying. But sometimes I find really fun stories in the YA section. And I'd read this book before, and then I read, and I really liked it, and I thought, oh, I'm going to really like the rest of the books in her other series and stuff. So I made the mistake of reading City of Bones after, and I only got through half of it. I did purchase an audiobook version of that book. Hopefully I can get through the whole book, and maybe then I can actually say, okay, if I don't like it or not. I liked this one, even again after reading it. It was a lot of fun. I breezed through it faster than the other book that I was reading at the same time, which was The Wrath in the Dawn. That one is a shorter book, and it's a shorter audiobook, but I just kept listening to the Cassandra Claire one because the story was just really fun. It's a fun story. Is it, like, thought-provoking? Does it make you, you know, I don't know, think about humanity or something like that? It doesn't. It's just fun. It's a fun book. And no, the flies are back. Oh, okay. It's a fun book. Sorry. Stupid flies in the house. And sometimes you just need fun books. You know what I mean? Not every book needs to be Pride and Prejudice. Not every book needs to be Frankenstein or A Tale of Two Cities, which I hate. A Tale of Two Cities. You know, it doesn't have to be Shakespeare, pretty much. It can be fun. And can it stand the test of time just for being fun? Sure, why not? Why does everything have to be this high, you know, intellectual novel when sometimes fun books can just be fun, you know? Not that, you know, Pride and Prejudice isn't fun to me. It is. Sorry. I really like it. It's one of my favorite books, Pride and Prejudice, so is Frankenstein. Can't stand The Tale of Two Cities, which is unfortunate because that was one of the books that was talked about in this book. Alright. Let's talk about the characters, since that's a big thing between the characters of The Tale of Two Cities. So the main character is Tess, and then there's Will and Jace, and oh my gosh, sorry. Tess moves from New York to London, so this is taking place in Victorian London. Tess is an okay character. I felt like most of her personality was she likes to read books. Her favorite book being A Tale of Two Cities. No, can't do it. Why does she like that book? I don't know. Does anyone like that book? To be fair, though, she lives in the past. Maybe that was like the most exciting book that came out. I don't know. I can't think of off the top of my head what she had access to book-wise. But that was like a big defining feature of that character, was she likes to read books. Which is kind of annoying that was like all I really knew a lot about her, other than she really cares for her brother. Which is great. That's a great personality trait. But she kind of, it was like, is she trying to write a supernatural version of Disney's Belle? Because that's kind of what it was feeling like. Although Belle to me has a bit more of a personality than Tess. Don't come after me, Cassandra Claire fans. I said she was an okay character. I'm sure she gets better in the next two books. I will say, at the end of the book, so spoilers going on ahead. This book has been out for a few years now, so people should have read it. I don't know. I guess not a lot of people are book readers too, so that factors into it. at the end, I was like 100% waiting for her to slap Will, because, oh god, he irked me at the end of this book. And I know I'm gonna find out more about him in the next 2 books. I haven't been able to find the second book in the series, by the way, so yeah, that's been annoying. I will find it at some point. It's not a big hurry for me to read this series, just I have so many other books to read. But yeah, so they have feelings for each other, romantic feelings, especially Tess. Will clearly does too, but he's got that whole like attitude thing where he can't be in love with her because of whatever nonsense reason is going on in his head. The one he tells her is that it's because she isn't a Nephilim, which is like part angel, part demon, I think, is what they are. They're not human, pretty much. And then she's not human because she's a warlock. And so like the two can't be together. Oh my gosh, that fly is about to die. Sorry. And I have an itchy nose. It won't stop. And this is the second time I've filmed this review. Third time technically, because I'm pretty sure I have an older review talking about my feelings, which is like probably like super glowy, and I just was like praising it to the ends of the earth, I'm sure. Because that's how I did reviews back in the day. I was just like, it's perfect. It's not. Tess is not perfect, in my opinion. It's a fun book, like I said, but because Tess is a warlock and they can't be together, he decides that, well, they're going to have this sexual relationship, like friends with benefits type of thing. And she's not down for that because it's Victorian England and then she'd be ruined. She can't get married. And of course, first thing that pops into her head is having a child out of wedlock. And then she's told, well, guess what? Warlocks can't have children anyways. And that really upset her, and he didn't understand why that upset her. I'm assuming because she was planning to have a family at some point in her life. Just saying, well, God, I wanted to smack him. That was not cool of him to do that. I did not like that, me personally. I know some people might justify it. I don't think there's anything to justify. He could have just been like, you know, hey, I have feelings for you, but I just can't act on them now for X, Y, and Z reason. I don't know. But yeah, she's kind of a okay main character. And I say okay as in, I think there could be more to her than just she's a warlock that can shapeshift into other people, and she really cares for her brother and likes to read. That's kind of all I know about Tess, for the most part, other than her parents are no longer around, and neither is, I want to say the aunt is no longer around as well. Yeah. And then there's Will, who I really liked at first in that ending. He lost me. And the biggest thing that made me like Will was when he said he didn't like A Tale of Two Cities, but he was just being cool, I guess is the right way to say it, because he actually really does like it, and it's his favorite book. And I was just like, you lost a few points, Will. I was happy that you didn't like the book too. I thought, oh hey, it's a character I can get along with, but not really. But I mean, he's fun. I thought he had some really funny, like, one-liner and zingers in the book. I found myself laughing quite a bit with Will. Again, I think we could do more with Will, just saying. I think there's more to Will than to Tess. Like, you kind of found out a bit more about him. You don't know about his interests. Like, he might like reading, since The Tale of Two Cities is his favorite book. That seems to be something they bond over. He's a really good shadow hunter, which is what they call themselves. He really cares for his friend Jace. Something happened between him and his family, that we don't know of just yet. Like, why he is there at the Institute. That's what the Shadowhunters live in, is the Institute, especially the younger ones. Oh yeah, I think there's more to come, I'm sure. I mean, I have a feeling that she just wanted you to have a little bit of a taste for the characters and not get everything about them in the first book. So, I don't know. This is my second time reading this, so, and I haven't read the other books, so I'm gonna hopefully do that at some point. We'll see, right? And then there was Jace. I'm just gonna talk about the three main characters, because there's other characters, but they're the ones I remember the most right now, and it's been a while since I've read the book. I finished it in December. Sorry. The 10% battery, I better hurry up, popped up. So I read it in December. So those three, I remember those. I actually really like Jace. He's a half Asian, half white character, which is awesome. Yes, for some diversity. There is LGBT diversity in this book. The character's named Magnus. Right now, he's only in a relationship with a woman. I believe the character's bisexual. He does kind of hint that he is into men for a little bit in one of the chapters, but you never actually see him like have any romantic interactions with male characters, just so you are aware of that. If you're looking for like a big LGBT romance and such, it's not in this book. I want to say it's in the other series, the Moral Instruments, because I think Magnus does show up in that series, and he becomes a really bigger character. Although I could be wrong. He could be a big character in the next two books too. Like I said, I haven't read them. I just know he is in the sequel series. But Jace, like I said, is half Asian, which is awesome. Because, you know, in fantasy books like this, you don't often get people of color, because I guess people seem to think fantasy can only be for white people, which is dumb. So I applaud Cassandra Claire for trying to bring diversity into the fantasy genre. Awesome. So that's an A+ to me in her book. You know, she is at least trying to create a fantasy world that is more diverse, and I like that. I like Jace. Jace has a pretty messed up life. Can I just say that? I think Jace is probably my favorite character in the book because I just feel for him a lot. You know, I think he does have feelings for Tess too. Of course he does, right? We have to have a love triangle in these things, which is annoying. Although I thought maybe, you know, there could have been something between him and Will. Who knows? They could have done that. But they're just like friends. You know, they're really good friends. He takes care. They watch each other's back is what I'm, you know, wanting to say. Not but poor Jace, when his parents, they were murdered by a demon. The demon, before killing them, tortured him using this drug, and through the torture he has become addicted to the drug, and now he can't live without having the drug. He is like permanently like needing, no, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. He needs to have it forever pretty much, or else he will not survive without it. And that's just messed up. I was shocked when he was telling his story. I didn't think that was why he was sick. I just thought he was just kind of born sickly, and it was just a rare thing for shadow hunters to be born sick, you know. Or I thought potentially, like, maybe he wasn't sick, but he actually had some sort of disability, but they were just calling it a sickness because that's just what they did back then often. You know, they didn't understand why somebody was the way they were, and so they labeled it a certain thing, like, oh, it's an illness and it can be treated and cured, or, you know, they need to go to like an asylum or something. It was horrible back then for anybody if you weren't heterosexual, white, and a man, and Christian. Like, honestly, if you were anything but that, your life sucked back then in Victorian England, I'm sure. I'm sure there are people that this is a time period I'm not as familiar with. And I'm sure maybe it wasn't all that bad, but I feel like it was. I feel like we tried to sugarcoat the past a lot, which, you know, I think she did really well with Jace's story, and not shying away from, you know, saying, hey, he does have some problems because he is half Asian. I think there's some things about him that make him, like, he's passable in the society, which I think is something they said in the book, that he was passable. Like, he doesn't get the full-fledged, like, hate that someone that's fully Asian gets in England. So yeah, I'm trying to hurry this up. And the main plot is so Tess moves to London. She's being trained as a shapeshifter. People are disappearing, and they think that it's one of the head vampires, and in reality, it is not a head vampire that is doing this. It's actually a human that's doing all these things, and he's created these crazy, like, robotic people, which is really cool for, like, Victorian England, because a lot of people combine, like, the style of Victorian England with, like, steampunk stuff, so that really fits with that type of aesthetic. And I thought it was cool, because I don't think I've ever read a book that's set during Victorian England where there's robots in it. But not to my knowledge. There might be some, because I'm sure even in Victorian England, they were thinking about robots. I mean, you never know what people were thinking about in the past. I mean, look at some of the works of Da Vinci, like, not his paintings, but his scientific works. Like, he was thinking about airplanes. If you look at his, like, sketches, it's amazing what people in the past wanted to accomplish, but just didn't have the ability to. I really like that in this book. He had these really, they were kind of creepy robots, the way she described them. But I thought it was really cool and a really unique thing to add to a fantasy book, because robots are typically science fiction. But the guy is creating robots using, I think he's using, like, magic, and humans aren't supposed to have magic. And if they did it, it's pretty dangerous, because they end up causing more harm than they intend to, because they don't truly understand the magic. They don't catch the guy in the end, by the way, which I figured, because he's probably going to be the villain in the next 2 books. It's a pretty simple story, right? There's a guy, he's doing something bad, they're trying to catch him, and then in the end, it wasn't that guy, so they kind of had, like, that fake out, kind of like in Frozen, right, with Hans, like, oh, you think Hans is this really good guy? Oh, just kidding, he's the bad guy. The same thing in Coco. They've been doing that a lot for Disney. Coco, Frozen, The Incredibles 2, there's, like, the villain pretends to be, like, the good guy, and then, just kidding. Right? It's kind of like that. Oh, you thought it was the vampire? Just kidding, it's actually this human. That's what it is. So that's the main plot of the book, really, is, like, they're fighting these vampires and demons and warlocks and all these things. It's supernatural. Not the show, but it's, like, supernatural creatures. I know Cassandra Claire gets a lot of flack because people compare her books to Harry Potter. a lot. I don't really, I mean, other than it's a secret society of the supernatural, like in Harry Potter, that's pretty much the thing that's in common. Like, I don't feel like Tess is anything like Luna Lovegood or Hermione, or Will is not like Harry. I guess, or Draco or Ron or any of the male characters. To me, as I've been rereading the first Harry Potter book, I can tell you, like, I don't think that some of the comparisons are fair. Maybe it's not necessarily this book, but it's the first books that she wrote, which was the Mortal Instruments. It started off as a trilogy and became 6 books. My big criticism is, while yes, it's taking place in Victorian England, to me it never felt like Victorian England as I was reading the book. Like, I kind of felt like I was just reading people that were dressed like they were in Victorian England running around London. And that was a shame. I kind of wish she did a little more research. Yeah, it's a fantasy book, but you're also having it take place in a real world setting. And I would have loved some more of the real Victorian England at play in the story somehow. Maybe it's in future books. Maybe, like, she had to do, like, a little bit of research because she had a deadline or something. I don't know what her writing process was like. All I know is I just wish there was more. I don't claim to be an expert on Victorian England at all. But I do feel like this wasn't what I have personally learned about Victorian England. It just kind of feels like she's in the modern world and they're just dressed like they're in Victorian England. But yeah, overall, I give this book like a B. 4 out of 5 stars, or 3.5-ish. I think on Goodreads I gave it just a 3. Because I don't think I do half stars, so I decided probably closer to a 3. It's good. It's fun. I think you should read it, especially if you need something to take your mind off of whatever going on, or you're traveling and you need something to read in the car or on the airplane. I personally don't read in cars. It makes me nauseous. And I'm already nauseous as it is in the car, so it's not a good thing to get even more. So yeah, that's all I have for today's video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys!